Welcome to Lesson 38 of EFT Tapping with A Course in Miracles. You can watch Lesson 1 for the full description of how this all works. So Lesson 38, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. We're asked now to do 4 practice periods today of 5 minutes each. So we'll actually do a full 5-minute practice period in the tapping round. So I'll keep more of the round focused on that actual exercise. So let's jump right into it. Start tapping on the side of the hand and repeat after me. Even though it might be difficult to believe that I am actually as powerful as this lesson suggests, I choose to open to the possibility that there is nothing my holiness cannot do. Even though I might not think of myself as holy, this lesson says that I am, in fact, holy because everything God created is holy. And I choose to open to the possibility there is nothing my holiness cannot do. Even though it might be hard to grasp, I choose to open to the possibility of everything this lesson suggests, that my holiness can remove all pain, end sorrow, and solve problems. I choose to open to this idea. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. Okay, now tapping through the points. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. That might sound a bit hard to grasp. If I really can remove pain and end sorrow, it would seem like I have no control at times. It can feel like we are victims of this world. So these ideas from these lessons, that mind is creating, that I have invented the world I see, that there is nothing my holiness cannot do, that my holiness is unlimited in power, because I am at one with the mind of the Creator. This is very different than how I am used to seeing myself. And it might seem like a form of arrogance. But we know this course is not about the ego. Not about strengthening it, that is. So I choose to take on this practice period. So now keep tapping, and you're going to close your eyes. Search your mind for any sense of loss or unhappiness of any kind. Try to make as little distinction as possible between a situation that's difficult for you or one that is difficult for someone else. And as you're searching your mind, you're going to identify the situation specifically and also the name of the person concerned. So keep exploring, keep tapping. The phrase is going to be, In this situation involving blank, in which blank, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. So in this situation involving whatever the situation, in which then it's I see myself, or he sees himself, or they see themselves, right? So in this situation involving myself, or involving my money, in which I see myself, there's nothing my holiness cannot do. So just keeping that in mind and repeating after me as you keep tapping and scanning your mind. In this situation involving blank, in which blank, they see themselves, I see myself, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. In this situation involving blank, in which I, they, he, she sees themselves, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. In this situation involving blank, in which I or they see myself or themselves, there's nothing my holiness cannot do. In this situation involving blank, in which blank, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. And you may include some thoughts of your own. One example given is there is nothing my holiness cannot do because the power of God lies in it. So keep tapping and just repeat in your mind however it comes to you. There's nothing my holiness cannot do because blank. And now in this situation involving blank, in which I or they see themselves, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. In this situation involving blank, in which I, he, she, or they see themselves, there's nothing my holiness cannot do. In this situation involving blank, in which blank, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. And in this situation involving blank, in which I, he, she, or they see myself or themselves, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. And repeating any variation, there's nothing my holiness cannot do because there's nothing my holiness cannot do because. And in this situation involving blank, in which I or they see myself or themselves, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. Okay, you can open your eyes, keep tapping. I choose to appreciate myself for having done this exercise, and to apply this idea frequently today. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. And if there is a specific situation, remembering to apply it specifically. Okay, take a breath. Tune in with that. Remember, we're asked to do 3 more 5-minute sessions today. So you can use the video if it helps with the timing and you like the tapping. I hope the form with the multiple blanks, the pacing, I hope that was okay. It's interesting experimenting with that. And yeah, you can of course experiment and play with it as you do the exercise again today. Hope it helps. I look forward to seeing you on the next lesson, lesson 39. Thanks again.